So it's that time of year again when we're all going back to work in the cold and the dark and the rain, and we're all thinking this might be the year that we decide to call it a day and retire as soon as possible. Now, just because you can retire as soon as possible, does that mean you should retire as soon as possible? And one of the most common but expensive and costly excuses that I get from my clients is just one more year. Now, about 60% of pensioners have left work before they reached state pension age. So that means that most of us are going to stop working before the state pension kicks in. Now, most of these people didn't retire because they were financially free. They retired because they had to. Now, nearly half of workers don't know how much they're going to need in their retirement, let alone how they're going to pay for it. So if you can answer yes to just a few of these questions, you're probably already late to your own early retirement party. Now, can you replace your existing income? Is your health starting to worsen? If your work vanished tomorrow, do you already know how you're going to spend your time? Is your identity trapped in your job title? Have you already tried living on your estimated income in retirement? Do you know who you're building your retirement for? Is it just going to be for you? Is it for a partner, your children, or your extended family? So if you're quietly nodding right now, you're not just dreaming about retirement, you're going to be postponing it. So in this week's video, I'm going to go through this quick test to see if you're ready to retire as soon as possible. Now, if you're new to this channel, a very warm welcome indeed. And hi, my name's Simon, and I'm a chartered financial planner. And for decades, I've been helping people just like you build their wealth by planning ahead with confidence by keeping more of what they've earned. Now, the internet loves the fantasy of early retirement. We've got the beach photographs, we've got the passive income screenshots, and the promise of financial freedom before the age of 55. But retiring early is one of the most misunderstood phrases because there's not one single definition for everyone for early retirement. Now, you can access most private pensions from age 55, and that's soon going to be rising to age 57. So some people may define early retirement as retiring 10 years before state pension age. Others might call it early retirement if you stop working at age 62, which is roughly 5 years before the state pension kicks in. But the truth is that early retirement isn't a date, but rather a stage in your life when your time becomes more valuable than your labor. And by that, I mean that most people prefer to have more time than money, and most people think that life experiences are more important than just mere possessions. And here's an example. The world's most legendary investor, Warren Buffett, is now worth about $160 billion. And he's just retired at the age of 95. So the question is, would you swap places with him to have that amount of vast wealth, but you might only have a year or two of life left? Now, that's an extreme example, but let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're finding value in this video, please going to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you can also leave a comment as well, that's going to allow me to make more accurate content for you in the future. But here's the real test. If you can answer yes to most of these 5 critical areas, you should seriously consider whether continuing to work is actually costing you more than it is paying you. This is a very critical basic foundation. Early retirement could really begin when your investment income and any passive income is equal to or greater than your lifestyle expenditure. Now, that income needs to be resilient, it needs to be stable, and it needs to be sustainable. And this is where your financial well-being will truly start. Not when your salary increases, but when your money works even without you. But here's the part that most people ignore, and that's the investment risk that you're taking. Now, your portfolio shouldn't be concentrated in one market, one asset class, one country, one strategy, or even one company, or in 7 companies in the case of the Magnificent 7. Now, global diversification matters because markets fall, currencies will weaken, and economies will stall, and short-term returns can be very uncertain and very volatile. Sorry to interrupt the video. Over the last year or so, many of you have reached out asking if we can help with solving some specific problems, particularly around your retirement plans. And I've spoken to a lot of you personally on Teams. The great news is that we can now scale this properly and efficiently, but we're going to need to cap this at just 90 new clients throughout 2026. So please follow the link on the channel and we're going to be in touch with you very quickly. If you're not ready to take that step just yet, there's no problem at all. You can register an interest and join our newsletter. Now, a proper early retirement plan will also assume and consider and apply for market crashes, long periods of low and uncertain returns, unexpectedly high inflation, longer life expectancy, of course. So early retirement isn't just about optimism, but it's also about survivability. Now, this is the one that ends careers more than anything else. Because if you're trying to spin as many plates as possible and you're juggling everything at once, this is going to disrupt your sleep, destroy your overall energy, elevate your stress levels, and leave no space for exercise, family, or even your overall recovery. And all that means is your body's going to suffer based on every decision that you're delaying. And this is something I've had to deal with over the last few years as well. And it's a very, very difficult balance to find. Now, we love to pretend we're going to enjoy life later and health is going to be fantastic, but health doesn't wait for perfect timing. Now, this is something I borrowed and adapted a little bit from the very fabulous comedian Jimmy Carr. Depression lives in the past, anxiety lives in the future, but your body suffers in the here and in the now. So if your work is stealing your physical as well as your mental well-being, and you're financially able to stop, then staying in work might not be a responsible decision for you or for your family. In fact, it's potentially going to be a very costly and a very expensive decision in the long run. Now, most people are very eager to retire from something, but very few plan to retire to something. So if your work disappeared tomorrow, do you already know how you're going to fill your day and how you're going to fill your time? Now, having interviewed many clients who are already in the top 1%, they've told me that retiring early only works when it's built around meaning and purpose, learning and growth, relationships, health and creativity. So without this, early retirement often becomes boredom, just with better furniture. And that's their words, not mine. And by that, they mean that whilst most people dream of escaping their day job, very few people design their future as well as the life that comes after it. Now, early retirement is only going to work if you already know and you've already planned for what you're going to be waking up for. So without meaning and purpose, this freedom turns into drift turns into boredom and having to face a lot of demons. Now, you don't just retire to do nothing. You retire early to finally get to do what matters to you and to your family. Now, many people are going to rely on spreadsheets, calculators, and very sophisticated modeling software, but that's just not enough. You've got to practice your future. So before retiring early, you should have lived at least a year on your projected retirement spending. You've tested your lifestyle at a lower income level. You've navigated any unexpected costs successfully, but you've also survived market volatility, both psychologically and financially. Now, if you've done that, this is going to transform fear of the unknown as it turns this into familiarity, and that in turn is going to create confidence. So what that means is when your life already fits comfortably inside your future budget, early retirement becomes a change of schedule and not just a mad leap into the unknown. Now, early retirement isn't selfish, but it is intentional. Now, you need to know who's going to be benefiting from all this newfound freedom. Is it going to be your partner, your children, your parents, your community, or even the causes that you care most about? That means that all these financial decisions are going to become clearer, stronger, and easier once you've established why you're ready to retire early. Now, legacy is about leaving money, but it's also about being present in other people's lives, giving valuable time and offering stability and maybe a positive influence as well. Now, many people spend their healthiest decades building their wealth for a future that they may never fully enjoy or experience. And all that is while the people they love grow up without them. So early retirement isn't just about escaping work. It's about reclaiming the next chapter of your life while you still have your health, your energy, your natural curiosity, and these are relationships that are worth protecting. Now, some will say that age 55, 57, or 62, but the correct time to retire isn't just on a calendar. It's when your future life becomes more important to you than your current income. So if you've said yes to most of these 5 areas, you should seriously consider retiring as soon as possible. Every year that you delay is going to cost you the currency that you cannot get back, and that's time. And I've included 2 more videos in this series, one about having a 5-year exit plan and another about how a pension fund value doubled since pension freedoms despite taking a regular income. And that is a fascinating video. Thank you for watching to the very end and for your time and for your patience. As always, I'm going to see you all again next time.